Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here coming at you again with another Dino A Day review series video, and we are on the Lightning Wyvern. Now, there are 3 wyverns, I guess 4 technically if you include ice wyverns, but there are lightning, fire, and poison are the main, with ice kind of being, in my opinion, a useless 4th. The Lightning Wyvern is really powerful in a couple of different ways, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what it is. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, or if you're enjoying the content, make sure you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. That would be awesome. Much appreciated. And, that's that. So, let's get started. So, the Lightning Wyvern, max level 190. This is a 180, as you can see right here. This one doesn't have the greatest stats. However, there are a few things you want to focus on with these Lightning Wyverns. 1, crank up their stamina right off the bat. That's just, you need stamina. It's something that I usually put around 2k. This is me just like trying to tell you that's what I would do ahead of time. It's very important to have. Well, it depends on what sort of melee you want to do with these guys. I mean, you can get some crazy high melees on these things. Health, I would say 18, 19, 20k is reasonable. And, that's that. If you want to do a PvP wyvern, make sure you have a little bit of weight so people can't just, have a bunch of weight on them and grapple you to the ground. Now, the Lightning Wyvern. On the ground, it has a few different attacks. It's got its bite. It's got its lightning's ability with its secondary attack. And then it has a special tertiary attack that people forget about. And that tertiary attack allows it to quite literally blow things into oblivion. However, I'm going to show you something that's really useful about that. Let's say you're near a cliff's edge, or you're near a base that's near a cliff's edge, and there's someone on a tame or a tame nearby. If you can blow it off the edge, you're good to go. Now, one thing that a lot of people forget about these, I'm going to show you right now. If you are on a wyvern and you're in the sky, you can use the pick attack with C. You already know that. They can carry up to most mid-sized dinos, and it kind of teeters out around Stego, I believe, is a trike they can't carry, stuff like that. But it's actually got a really big range for its pull, so you can get a really nice area to pull it from, and that's just how it works. It does waste a lot of stamina with each one of the attacks that I do, though, so you'll notice that my stamina is only about half, and I really haven't been doing a heck of a lot. Dragons lose stamina really fast. So, now, before we do that, a lot of people forget this function. We're over in this charred zone for a reason. If you use your tertiary attack, which just means you're using the C on PC, and I believe it's right click on PS4 and Xbox unless you've changed it, you can hit these trees that are burnt. Now when you hit these burnt trees, you're going to get charcoal. So this is a great early and even late game if you're just in need of some charcoal really quickly. You can hit these trees and get quite a bit of it, which is nice. So just look for the charred ones like you see right here. Land. Use that tertiary attack, and there's 34 charcoal. Right there, free, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You just gotta run around and smack the trees with your tertiary attack, and you get yourself, it took me what? I get 102 charcoal, maybe 20 seconds, if that. So that's that. They do heal pretty fast. If you put raw meat in their inventory, they gain about 5 to 10 per meat you feed them, so they can get back up and running pretty quickly if you have a bunch of meat available. Other than that, charcoal is about the only really useful thing, other than maybe early game meat runs if you don't have access to a Giga or any sort of Rex or Spino or something like that. These guys are pretty good for early game meat runs because they get a fair amount of meat from each tame. And obviously, as you can see, they gain their health back pretty quick with that meat. So, in order to tame these things, you will have to get the eggs from either the Ragnarok or the Scorched Earth, I guess, or Valguero, but you can't get them on Valguero because that is only fire and ice. You have to get them on Rag or Scorched Earth, and that just means that these things are a little bit more difficult to get a hold of. There are some modded maps that do have these in areas, though. So, the attack itself. Now, its left-click attack, or its primary attack, is just a bite. It doesn't do superb amounts of damage. It does a little bit, but nothing that's like, oh my goodness, stellar compared to anything else. However, its secondary attack is where this thing just goes haywire. Now, if I was you, I would go first person because it makes this attacking easier. You can kind of like look down the wyvern's head, and that just makes it way, way easier to attack. And you can lock on and just shred pretty much anything with this attack. Even in the air, I would use this as the first person mode, so you can kind of aim using that. And this thing shreds pretty much everything with its lightning. So, let's go ahead and go this way. One of the things you can do, I'll show you in a second, but if you want to do like strafing runs almost, you can kind of do what I'm doing right now, and literally just run past lower level tames, like any tame that's small, really, he can pretty much take out just by one-tapping them. However, if you're after bigger tames, let's say an aloe, it does a lot of damage. The bleed damage that aloes do is really dangerous for wyverns because without saddles, these things are pretty squishy, so you want to be careful about that. Turrets can just destroy you pretty quick on these things. And if you go into third person mode, you can sit above any large tame without taking damage and just shred it with the lightning attack. Now the lightning attack has a very large range, much larger in my opinion than it should have, but I mean, I guess to be fair, it is lightning. Lightning goes a long ways, if we're going to be completely fair. You know, so take that as you will. But if you hover yourself above these things, it's just shred city. And if you don't want to do the hover above, you can do strafing runs where you kind of just do this style right there and just do circles around it, because that lightning is a lock-on, unlike the fire and the poison, which don't shoot like a lock-on thing. This guy is very dangerous because of that. Now, if someone's got some really good armor on, or they're on a tame with a good saddle, the benefit about a lightning wyvern, it also does torpidity. Now that is huge because you can literally knock out somebody's tame with lightning if they're not taking enough damage to kill it, which lightning does a ton of damage. It'll literally just knock them out. I've had it happen where some dude I was going after with a tech suit, his tech suit was basically protecting him from all of the damage that I was doing. But for some reason, the lightning itself was, I don't know if you want to call it overpowering the tech suit. It knocked him out of the sky, literally like knocked him out cold. I went to the ground, picked his suit, and killed him that way. But these things can do that because they do torpidity as well as now that direct line of sight. Now, for some reason, it appears if you're close to the lightning, but not directly being hit by it, it's almost like a Kamehameha blast. If you get hit by part of it, you will take more torpidity and less damage. But if you take the full blast, you will take full damage from it. Now I'll go ahead and show you the comparison of, you know, damage here. If I bite, it doesn't really do any damage. But that lightning basically insta-shreds it. So the lightning wyvern has a huge amount of damage that it can do. Now another useful thing you can do with these guys, let me show you real quick. If you have a lightning wyvern, allow special attacks, enable turret mode, targeting range is high, and we're going to leave him on aggressive. Basically what will happen is he'll launch himself in the air and attempt to shoot things with his lightning blast. Now that can be really awesome, and I'll show you why. Because I'm just going to sit here, and he will literally use his lightning blast to blast these things on the ground whenever given the opportunity to do so. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't have very much health, so he's probably going to get shredded by these things right here. Yeah, that's what I thought. But if you can put him up like on the cliff's edge or something like that, he will actually just rain down lightning on these things, and that's really, really nice to have access to. Come on, land. Thank you. Let's go ahead and behavior, enable special attacks, enable turret mode. And notice how he's kind of like on the edge of this up here, so it's really hard to hit him up here. If we can aggro things to us, he will rain lightning from the sky, and that's a good thing. Oh, I don't have any ammo in this one. And let's go ahead and just smack one of these things. So, hyenodons are shockingly overpowering too, but lightning wyverns, a little bit better. We're just going to see if we can pull these guys up to us here and let our lightning wyvern do the work that he does. Really? You're just gonna, like, sit up there and miss? Anyways, you get the point. He can literally rain lightning down. Come on now. Come on, buddy. I know you want to rain lightning on these things. Do it again. Now, the poison wyvern will shoot much faster, but the lightning wyvern does serve as a nice little turret mode. So, you can do it. He's just not, you know, letting me show you guys, unfortunately. So, they are pretty quick on the ground as well. So you can get a little bit of a knockback going, and that's just kind of how it works. And let's get the lightning blast going, and that is how you do your real damage, as you can see. So it looks like I've got a little bit more to kill here. And boom. Hyaenodon's dealt with. He took a little bit of damage, but I mean, just watch how fast. If you just go in a circle here and feed him, he can gain a ton of health really quickly. So, lightning wyverns of the three are probably my favorite wyvern, you know, but it's up to you which one you want to like the most. So, I like this guy, and I like the coloring scheme of them. That purples and blues and stuff like that is pretty sweet. Alright, anyways, teach out.